From Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
Our CHGO White Sox community leader, our pal Vaney Duber, is, getting away for 2 days. So
Canoeing, right?
Tomorrow. I think he is canoeing. I think he made his own paddle.
Yes.
I think he cut down a tree and then whittled his own paddle.
And then the log cabin that he's staying at.
Exactly. So Vinny's there doing that. He'll be back tomorrow for the game, capital T, capital G. That could be the possible record breaker. The tragic number is at 1. The White Sox are 1 loss away from being the worst team ever in Major League Baseball history.
History!
Thank you, Sarah. Also, Sarah's our producer.
Hi.
It seems like it's stupid to even say that they're not the best or the worst team of all time. Because, the 62 Mets were very, very bad.
Yes.
But at least there's some excuses there.
I mean,
there's no excuses for this.
No, not at all. I mean, theoretically, the White Sox have a worse winning percentage than those 62 Mets. And they've lost 120 games quicker than those 162 or the 1962 Mets. So, and we know out of these 6 games, they will definitely get it done. And I just tweeted something last night. If the White Sox were to lose out the last 6 games, this 11-game losing streak that they would be in would only be their 4th longest losing streak this year.
But it would be their 4th 10-plus game losing streak,
yes,
which is fantastic. So I'm hoping for that at least. I would love for them to go 0-6 because if you're going to be the worst, be the worst. Leave no doubt. Just set it and forget it.
Yeah. Ron Popeil, rest in peace. I don't even know if he's dead. But 2025, let that, 2025's got something to shoot for if they lose the rest of these 6 games. People, and I know the author Stephen King, the horror author and movie maker, wrote that, hey, things can't get worse. And I was like, hey, calm down, Stephen. Things can get worse. And next year's team is going to be like, hey, man, 126 losses? Let's go after it. Bet money.
I didn't know Ron Popeil was just like that.
What? His set it and forget it?
Yeah, he passed in 2021. So
yes.
Not only was it set it and forget it, as well as popularizing the phrase, but wait, there's more. That's iconic. He's an ILL guy too.
I.
Yeah. I guess he. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He graduated. It says he withdrew from his his what's it called? What do you go? I didn't go to college. Sorority, but not sorority.
For fraternity.
Thank you. All right.
I didn't go to Illinois. I'm still an ILL guy forever, for life.
I saw withdrew, and I was like, oh, he left college. This is besides the point. You are not here for Ron Popeil talk. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We are going to be talking about the news, the reported news from Francis Romero, that Cuban prospect Edgar Quero was added to the taxi squad for the last week of the season for the Chicago White Sox. He could be activated this Tuesday to make his Major League debut with the White Sox. We'll talk about Quero's call-up or potential call-up. I know Vinny wants us to make sure that it's reported. Also, I know some people in the chat are mentioning poor Chucky Robinson. Chucky, I don't think will be affected. I think they have an open roster spot currently. So it's more of a taxi squad ad rather than a roster ad. It's not official, but I don't know if Chucky is done.
Yeah.
So,
and even if he is, he played a lot in the time that he got here, and he got enough playing time. There's nothing there for Chucky. He got his Major League cup of coffee with the White Sox, and he knew this is probably not it.
He got a couple cups of coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised at how much run he ended up getting. I don't think he got more plate appearances than Martin Maldonado, but I think he got at least a competitive amount, probably over 100 at bats.
And if he is DFA'd or something, in the last 6 games, I'm sure Chucky be like, hey, man, they gave me a fair shot, and I just wasn't it. And, that's it. I was on the worst team in baseball history. There's no tears shed for Chucky Robinson.
No, he got the same shake as Braden Shoemake. 64 at-bats and 61 at-bats.
I know we're doing the thing at the end of the year in the offseason where we got to do the players. You just reminded me that the White Sox had Braden Shoemake not only on the team, starting a lot of games. A lot of games.
Baseball Reference, we could play that fun game. Who's worse, Braden Shoemake or Jacob Amaya? I think it's Braden Shoemake.
Jacob Amaya, man.
He's okay.
Yeah, that man's. I mean, at least he has
White Sox
he has his value on the defensive side. At least he does that. Like Braden Shoemake did really nothing at the time where I said, why is he in the lineup? And then he immediately hit a home run that game. I was like, oh. And then people are like, oh, see, I told you Braden Shoemake's the best player ever. And then he turned to Braden Shoemake. But at least
how many home runs did he have?
2?
No, 1.
1. Okay, that one home run.
You talked your crap, and he,
And he's like, and I remember one of his teammates from like Texas A&M or Texas Tech, whatever school he went to, was on my mentions. Is like, hey, don't be talking smack about the great Braden Shoemake. And I was like, ugh. But yes, Jacob Amaya at least does it with the glove, even though he had the golden sombrero the other day in San Diego.
Who did?
Jacob Amaya and. I think Jacob Amaya and somebody close to him, I think either Corey Lee or Chucky Robinson, had both 4 strikeouts in the game on Saturday.
If Baseball Reference is right, I don't know why they wouldn't be. Quero would be the 64th player for the White Sox in 2024. So hopefully we can at least get to 65. It'd be interesting to see who else they could squeeze onto this roster.
On Saturday, it was Jacob Amaya, 4 at-bats, 4 strikeouts, and my guy, Zach DeLoach.
Oh, your guy.
4 at-bats, 4 strikeouts.
Do you remember Rafael Ortega and Duke Elliott?
I don't remember that.
Some of these names aren't that
on the actual team.
Braden Shoemake, I think the issue with Shoemake, it was April.
Yeah,
that's the reason why he seems so far out. Some of these guys, it's not I feel like we're gonna do a decent job at guessing all of these 64 guys.
You know me in memory and remembering people? No. Vinny might because he talked to all these people. Face the name. Me? No. Right. Absolutely not. I'll get if we're 64 people, I'll get 28 of them.
That should be fun at the end of the year. But we'll talk about Edgar Quero, what his role will likely be for the White Sox on this team. We also have our record so far in post-game shows in 2024. I went through every single White Sox post-game in our playlist on YouTube and counted all the wins and losses. Here is the answer. Sarah and Herb will guess. We'll see who is the closest. The number kind of surprised me. Even the winning percent surprised me because when I saw the two numbers next to each other, I thought the winning percentage would have been higher.
Yeah.
But the winning percentage, I think, makes somewhat sense. So we'll figure that out. All right. Quero.
Yes.
This mostly makes sense because Charlotte season is over. This isn't really anything about Quero specifically. I think they had an open space. He's on the 40-man, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he's not, I think they still have one spot open. They claimed Ron Mariachi or whatever his name is
yes.
from the Yankees. But I think that brought their 40-man to 39.
That's
so
his name.
Even if he's not currently on the 40-man, which I still think he is, he should be able to just slide right into the 40-man and not have to shake anybody out.
Officially, he is not on the 40-man because the White Sox still have, I don't know why, Max Stassi, who was on the IL for 60 days, Chucky Robinson, and Corey Lee as the listed catchers on the 40-man roster right now.
Yeah, and then they claimed right-handed pitcher Ron Mariancino.
You're close.
Mariancino. I think this puts them up to 39. So there still should be some room with them. All right, anyways, Quero, though, I don't know if this is going to mean he's playing. You look at his game log, he's been dealing with a back injury. He played on the 22nd of September, the 20th of September, and the 19th of September. Before that, he hadn't played since August 13th. So I think the biggest part of this is likely, let's just get him acclimated to Major League Baseball, acclimated to our game planning, even though it's dog shit. Let's get him acclimated to this environment, this clubhouse, because it's pretty likely that he'll be on the 2025 roster, opening day roster.
Yeah, and it's never a bad thing to get a young player like Quero a taste of Major League Baseball, traveling, even though it's dilapidated, airplanes. the White Sox will take one more road trip to Detroit this weekend, and he'll be on that team just to see exactly how the White Sox handle a game plan instead of the reported things like, yeah, your sinker will work great low in the plate. Hopefully, they'll be imparting a little bit more knowledge to him and how the day-to-day operations go for White Sox catchers and pitchers and the pitching coach there at Ethan Katz. So I am all in favor of the young player getting a taste of the major leagues, even if he doesn't get any at-bats. I think, like you said, more than likely he will not be activated, I think, for the last 6 games because you said he had a back problem, and what's the use of 6 games? What's that going to do for him to get a taste of the MLB batting? And if he does poorly, I don't know if that's going to do what that's going to do to his overall feeling going into the offseason because he killed AA. In the brief time he went to AAA, he killed that. If they could just put a wrap on his season and say, hey, man, you had an excellent year. That's it. You're good. You're slightly injured. We want to keep you rested, but you need to come up here to the majors to see how we do it, to keep an eye on you, and then we'll send you away with a nice game plan. So, like you said, when 2025 hits, you and Corey Lee can battle for who's getting the majority of the plays behind the plate. The other one will get an occasional DH spot, but there's no harm in the White Sox doing this at all, and I don't expect him to play, but if he does, fine. It's all right.
That's the thing, too, with this report. It's not official, so don't get your Quero jerseys busted out and ready. I don't know if the Queros are coming to see Edgar's
What about the Queros?
MLB debut. I don't even think the Queros are coming either.
I know he got it right last time he said it.
He's adjusted it finally after, 15 times. And hey, the owner's watching. The owner apparently, is texting everybody, so the owner doesn't know his damn name either. But with Francis's
just watch
tweet,
the game.
It says added to the taxi squad. And the White Sox are at 40. So my bad on that. Ron Mariachi Band puts him at 40. So I think that this is not going to be his major league debut.
Okay. Yeah.
I think because the season in Charlotte is over, there is a taxi squad where under the current rules, a minor leaguer can travel with the club for 1 day before either being added to the roster or sent back down. And this minor leaguer is said to be on the taxi squad. I think we saw this with Ramos. Remember when they called him up for a day and then sent him back down?
Yeah.
They kind of did that with Colas, but actually played him. I don't think that he will be added to the roster. And I think that this is more just like a, hey, come see Major League Baseball and what it's like. So I actually would be surprised if either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday he puts on a uniform and we say Quero's debut.
Me too. I think, like you said, I think he'll put on a practice uniform, get some BP in before the game, go with Chucky and Corey to learn how they get game plans done for their pitchers. Just, observe. That's all he's there for. See the beautiful city of Chicago. Hopefully he doesn't go too hog wild out here because we have a great city. He's a young man. And then goes to the offseason and enjoys himself, knowing that he probably has a job. And he looks at Chucky Robinson and a couple of bats like, I'm much better than him right now.
Probably. And I think most catchers in probably AAA are better than Chucky Robinson. Not to bash our guy, but here I am bashing our guy.
Sorry, Chucky.
Sorry, Chucky. Let's take a break, and we'll let you know about our friends over at Chevy. We'll also let you know about our friends over at CHSN. First, we want to let you know about Ray Chevrolet. If you are in the market for a new vehicle, check out our friends over at Chevy. Find savings to match at Ray Chevrolet this September because Truck and SUV Month is going on now. Head in today to shop their huge selection of new Chevy models at new low prices. Right now, take $3,000 up to $12,000 off MSRP on most new Chevy models, or cruise into fall your own way and shop over 125 of their vehicles priced under $20,000. As one of the top selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. Visit our partner this September at their location in Route 12 in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. And if you've heard of Ray Chevrolet, then you've also heard of Race Price Promise. They're guaranteed to make your next vehicle more affordable than ever with no price changing, no add-ons, and no hidden fees ever. That means the incredible prices we're talking about now, you can expect to see the very same when you shop Ray Chevy in-store or online. So shop Truck and SUV Month all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive.
Beginning October 1st, next Tuesday, the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox will have a new home. Introducing the Chicago Sports Network, CHSN. CHSN will broadcast more than 300 live games per year across Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, and will feature a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. They're also Chicago-based, Chicago-built, and Chicago to the core, and they're bringing it to every corner of Chicago across the 77 neighborhoods and beyond. At CHSN, Chicago comes first. Visit chsn.com for more info on how do you watch Bulls, Hawks, and Sox games all season long.
Thanks, Herb. I think it's very cool that they're going to be doing that over the air. Ain't that neat?
That's great. And this Melissa Sage Bolenbach says they won't want to start the service clock, and she's been doing some good stuff when the White Sox covering them as far as their playoffs, both the single A team and the double A team. So she's been good stuff, and she's part of our community and the diehard community. So those who support us, we support them.
Yes, absolutely. As you're mentioning, the Southern League Championship is currently going on the 20th. The Barons defeated the Smokies 6-3 in Game 3 of their series to move on to the championship game. And then on Sunday, the Barons beat the Biscuits 7-2 to win Game 1. So then on Tuesday and Wednesday will be Game 2 and Game 3 as the Barons try to win their first Southern League title since 2013, I think it is. And our guy, Noah Schultz, pitched in Game 1, 3 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 K, 6 strikeouts. Boom.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's our guy. We're excited for him, and it should be fun. 53 pitches, too, for Schultz, so nothing too great there. I guess my biggest worry with Quero when they're like, oh, hey, come check out our game planning. I just think of the Athletic article. Former pitchers describe Chicago's game planning as almost rudimentary. Rather than provide individual plans for each hitters, the White Sox offer generalities such as your sinker will play down in the zone, an insufficient answer against, say, a lineup full of left-handers who will hit sinkers in that area. Minor league pitchers with high walk totals were told things like, work on your command, with no other specifics in the offseason. Hitters expressed similar concerns. Quote, they had information, one former position player said, but you don't get an explanation or a plan. So how much will you actually learn, Edgar Quero, from the White Sox game planning? And I think, too, back to Martin Maldonado's time with the White Sox, his very, 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 very long time with the Chicago White Sox in 2024. And what we heard about, just prepped and talked about all the damn time, was his game planning and how pitchers like to pitch with him and how he was always staying up late, even on the Houston Plains, game planning. Like, is that the reason he stuck around? Was because, they probably learned so much game planning from Martin Maldonado, and that was the main reason, even though he was batting 080, he's our best game planner. He's the best thing that we've seen in, 15 years. So let's keep Martin Maldonado around. And Chucky Robinson hasn't been any better, so it's not like, Maldonado would have sunk this ship because it's already a sinking ship, but how much of a game changer was Martin Maldonado, just in retrospect with now this Athletic article coming out?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought of it that way, but that makes sense. Vinny would tell us all the time, they really love his game plan, as you said, and that is probably because previous years we're having Yasmani Grandal, who not known as a defensive catcher, a catcher who can catch. That still continues to this day, and so they probably didn't know how to be professionals as a catcher. And we've heard the stories about the Tim Anderson, Yasmani Grandal thing dust up where it was a couple years ago. And, Yasmani wants to leave a little earlier instead of being the leader that Martin Maldonado probably was for the White Sox. When you got young players, you need some veterans to be impressionable on them to say, no, this is the way we're conducting business. This is the way how we structure our business. And hopefully, Corey Lee came from the Martin Maldonado school of prep because he was down there in Houston with Martin Maldonado before he got traded here to the White Sox last year. So he understood, but it's good to filter it on down and maybe have Ethan Katz, maybe have the people in the minor leagues learn, okay, that's how a championship organization gets prepared for games. Yes, Martin Maldonado wasn't a good catcher, both defensively or offensively, at his advanced age with the White Sox, but the preparation for these games probably was invaluable to a team that, as you read the report there, didn't really know what they were doing and giving just nonsense stuff like I would give a person that's never been paid to be a professional anything. I would say, hey, yeah, just throw that sinker right there and down low in the zone. That works. That guy looks like he can't hit that type of stuff. Instead of, why should I throw that sinker there? Your stuff is, got this type of access, this type of spin. That person's swing is that way, or his swing's a little loopy. It would work for that specific person. And I think Martin Maldonado would break it down for each batter that comes into the game and how he wants to go against this batter in the first inning. And then if that batter hits something in the first inning, he'll go back to the pitcher in the dugout. It's like, okay, next time we face this batter, you saw he was all over your slider. He'll be expecting that the next time. So we'll change up the sequence a little bit more and throw other stuff. And so I think it's very invaluable to have leaders, as we saw with, and this is my theory, that Jose Abreu, even though he wasn't necessarily a vocal leader, ever since he's left, this stuff is falling off the table. Like professionalism, how to be a Major League Baseball player. Like 81 and 81 was bad, but ever since he's left, it seems like the prep has gone. The stories about the players and how they get ready for games has gone to the wayside. You need veteran leaders who can talk to the players and say, yeah, Pedro is Pedro. He's the manager, and those other people are upstairs, but I'm the manager down here on the field. And what we're going to do is this, that, and the other so we can get prepared for this game. And once you don't have those type of players, it's, as they say, the inmates running the asylum. And then you get 36 and 120.
Hey, man, they have that. It's Grady Sizemore. He's 42. He could still play. Give him the spikes.
They all love him, too.
Yeah. I want to bring this up. Let me first give a disclaimer. The ERA here is not true catcher ERA, in that it does not account for responsible runners when there is a catcher substitution. That will be important for Martin Maldonado. Runs are allowed are credited to the catcher in the game when the run is scored. Earned runs are credited to the catcher who is the catcher when the scoring player was at bat. Team unearned runs are considered unearned to the catcher in these splits. By catcher, Martin Maldonado, the pitchers, when pitching, had a better ERA than anyone else when pitching to Martin Maldonado, a 4.61 ERA in his 48 games. Corey Lee is second, 4.75 in 109 games, and Chucky Robinson in his 23 games, 5.23. Now, I won't say that's Chucky Robinson's fault, because also let's keep in mind when Chucky Robinson was here, when most of the great players were gone. And if it's a Garrett Crochet start, I don't think they're putting Chucky Robinson out there.
No.
I don't really even need to check if Chucky Robinson has caught Garrett Crochet, because pretty sure he hasn't. I'll check now to not be too over sure.
If it is, it's like one or two.
I think that for the most part, it just shows that, I do think Maldonado is likely a better game planner, but hopefully most of that stuff, because of his former pitchers, has been erased with Brian Bannister, right? Hopefully that new addition, and that's my favorite word, hopefully, because we actually can't get this confirmed.
No.
Hopefully it's changed because, what we have heard, especially from that article from The Athletic, things just seem disgustingly bad. Chucky has caught him twice.
Yeah.
5 1/3, 8.44 ERA.
Whew. You won't
11 strikeouts, 1K.
That's 2 times, though.
Yeah.
It's 5.5 strikeouts for 8 earned runs. Well, 8 ERA. But, I would think you're right. Like, they probably can't judge Chucky on his high ERA because he's going with all these young pitchers. After the trade deadline, you didn't get to catch Eric Fetty, and he's getting the scaled-down version of Garrett Crochet, and the 2 times he has, it's been bad. I think that it's very invaluable to have somebody who is a veteran that knows Major League Baseball and the hitters and how they like to hit, and the umpires. Even that's also a big part of catching, understanding the umpires, understanding how to work an umpire too. Talk to them and how to not show up an umpire. These things have to be learned by people in front of you, telling you how to do it, and then you going out and experiencing it yourself. So, I think it was good to have him on the team. But as people said, Make him a coach. That's what I wish the White Sox would have made him, like an extra special catcher coach. I know they already have Drew Butera on the team, but I didn't need to see any Martin Maldonado at bats this year. He was bad. He was absolutely terrible. But his value, as we have been talking about, as Vinny has talked about, is off the field. The stuff that you can't see, the intangible things.
But
and if they need to do that more of that, bring him back next year. As a coach, not as a player.
No. Because what needs to fix is just the organization needs to be smarter. The organization needs to stop relying on guys who have been there and done that. They need people who can analyze data.
Yes,
like that. I don't need the guy that's been there and can tell his war stories.
But as we're going to talk about later, when we're talking about the new international hire that the White Sox have, or the assistant to the GM, I need the White Sox to have people who've been there and done that for the jobs that they're getting hired for. And so Grady Sizemore doing this job right now, he didn't do the job before. He didn't have any real coaching experience until the White Sox gave him this job. And the guy they're hiring has never been this guy. He was a scout. Now he's going to be something higher than he is. Same thing with Chris Getz. Same thing with Josh Barfield. Same thing with Paul Giannis. So, yes, that would be an ideal world. You would want to have more advanced things in the White Sox system. But right now, they're at an antiquated level. While teams are way up here, the White Sox are still in the basement. And you got to crawl before you walk. And so, yes, I would love for them to take the leap from antiquated to modern, but that can't happen in a day. I wish it could. It could happen in a day if you have different owners and a different general manager that sees this stuff and is like, no, substandard. This is not good. I see that Chris Getz sees that the White Sox have problems, and I think that through that article you saw that Rick Hahn knew the White Sox had problems keeping up with the modern times, but it's still the old owner that is probably slow to move. And this article probably get him move a little bit, but not to the level you need to be at the level of major league average in analytics, research and development, et cetera, et cetera.
I think there was a graphic that we showed last year at some point. They aren't the worst. They had 12 people, full-time analytics people hired, which was like tied for 27th. I think there was 2 teams below them. But one of the teams is like Tampa. So obviously, I think Tampa probably knows what they're doing, and if they're outsourcing, they know who to outsource it to. Mm-hmm. So they're one of the lowest, if not the worst, at employing these people and analyzing data. Fun. Let's take a break. Before we get to that break, Herb, does Quero play?
He does not play.
Okay. I lean towards that as well. I don't think Quero plays. But maybe he does. Maybe we look stupid, and we'll be there tomorrow. And I'll be there wearing my Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. They probably have a style in your favorite team's color, so go check them out. And if you ever have your shades go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself these shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Empire.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Thanks for bailing us out. Now we don't have to sing. With Empire Today, you get shop and home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, they have copycats, but Empire cannot be beaten on quality, service, and speed. So competitors advertise low-quality products that Empire simply won't carry. Empire won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. They keep shopping for floors simple. They curated product selection. Empire's philosophy is to help you find what you need and not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. What they leave out of their selection is just as important as what they put in. Their product team exhaustively combs through thousands of product samples each year to find the perfect styles, Our virtual floor designer is a great way to see how new floors will look in any space. It's easy. Just snap a picture and instantly see how new floors will look in your room. So schedule a free in-home estimate today with our friends over at Empire. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details. All right, so the other piece of news that was released by Bob Nightingale, which was more of a footnote, was that the White Sox have hired Mets scout David Keller to run the international operations and also will have the title of assistant to the general manager. I don't know if James Fegan reported or was the first to report the assistant general manager that title. So shout out to James if he did.
I think he did.
So shout out to James. What do we make of the David Keller move? Is this just replacing what we saw removed recently?
Yeah, I think that is like you can pretty much go side to side and see that when was it 3 weeks ago when so
Patty.
They fired Marco Patti, the international scout or international director of scouting for the White Sox, and they needed a new guy. I was the papers underneath you right there, underneath your leg. So they wanted to, jump on it, and all tweets and reports that I've seen says the White Sox got a good one, but he's not coming here to do the job that he did for the Mets since 2009. He was just a scout for the Mets. I haven't seen any discernible people. You might have read more into it of who he scouted and how that person has done. But since 2009, people have been saying, man, that's pretty good for the White Sox. But as I was talking about earlier, he's doing a job that he's never done before. Not that he's not qualified to do this job. I think he's more than qualified to do the job that he is. But I would like somebody that has done this in their history before and has an idea of this is how I want to go about this because this is how I've done it in the past to this success. Now he's doing a job that is not familiar with him, but I assume that he has a good handle on the job. But as always, the White Sox are the White Sox, so I'm always looking at hires that they make, even if they're lauded nationally, with a jaw on the side because the White Sox hired this guy. I know why he got the job or why he took the job for such a bad organization, because he went from a scout to assistant general manager of the GM and international scouting director for the White Sox. That's a pay bump. Anybody would do that. Now, can he do the job? We'll see.
We will see. I didn't see much, honestly. I didn't see much reaction and much insight. I was waiting for some insight from James Fox, but they're doing their show on Monday. So go tune into the Future Sox episode at 8 o'clock with Ian Exkridge and James Fox. I will be tuning in with you. There wasn't much that I learned from about David Keller, honestly. And even the one thing I did see was from a Mets fan that said, I'm sure David Keller is good at his job, but amazing how he went from relative obscurity with the Mets to running the White Sox international scouting department. Certainly not one of the names frequently mentioned with the Mets. That's from Daniel Wexler. But that was the only person that was tweeting about Daniel Keller, or David Keller, at least from a Mets perspective. Azenrek, though, on Twitter said Keller was with the Mets for the past 7 years, including the tail end of the Wilpon era. Before that, he was with the Marlins during the last days of the Jeff Loria era. He understands working under horrible ownership. So thank you, Azenrek, for putting that so gracefully.
Loria, Wilpons, Reinsdorf,
yeah,
hey. Friends. He's like, hey, I'm used to it.
I'm cool with it.
It's all good.
If it's signaling something, I'm excited about it. But I think the part that it's at least most exciting is this is a person that has seen not only how a major league team works, as in the Mets, but they have been active in the Asian markets where the White Sox have not.
No.
Like, literally the last person that they've signed from the Asian market is Tadahito Iguchi. I could be wrong, but I want to be right.
I mean,
I want to be right on that.
Straight from Japan or Korea, yeah, I think that is right.
I mean, Kolas.
Yeah,
He's not Asian.
Yes,
he was signed from an Asian league.
Big time Asian player, Oscar Colas.
Yes.
But yeah, somebody like Kosuke Fukudome. He was a Cub first, and then he came over here. But yeah, I would say that's very true because we're just talking about Edgar Quero. Even though the White Sox didn't sign him, he's from Cuba. Cienfuegos, same city that Yohan Moncada's from, and I think the same team that Jose Abreu played for. So it's very single-minded. Like, Cuba's great, Venezuela's good, but we're the Dominicans. I know Eloy's Dominican, but we didn't sign him. So the White Sox need to diversify their international scouting, and it seems like that's going to be part of the plan of building some of these facilities down there in the Dominican and other foreign countries, getting scouts on the ground in those countries. And James Fox had said in one of his tweets yesterday, it's like, you got to scout these players when they're 12, 13. If you're scouting at 15, 16, you're already way too late. And there are people who can get good at that age, but you're probably behind the 8 ball at that time. So this is what we need. Alejandro, that's a good one. Fetty was out of Korea too. But you need to get on the ground in those countries to be visible to those players. I mean, you can only do so much with Juan Uribe's, his kid and his whole facility down there. You need
all of Fernando Tatis's brothers.
Yeah, we can only sign so many of those people. So you need feet on the ground, people who know these players, who understand what they're going through, and can see when they're 12 and 13 and have projectable vision to say, okay, this kid's a little skinny and lanky, but he can turn into XYZ player that we've seen before. And those scouts have seen those players and have told major league players or major league teams that, hey, this team and this player will turn into XYZ.
Oh, hey, this guy's got the last name Cespedes. Must be good. And thank you.
We just keep on getting brothers of good players.
Yeah, thank you, Mindy Dar. Well, we had the good player, and then we got his brother, and they traded away the good one away. Thank you, Mindy Dar, for the super chat of $10. 38 and 124. We are getting close. Are we ever? Appreciate it.
History! Do you win anything, Mindy Dar?
I don't think so.
Mindy Dar says he said it earlier. I can see that record, and I might have poo-pooed him early in the year. And if I did, Mindy Dar, I apologize. But if you said it in one of these early shows, which Sean has looked at most of them, kudos to you for seeing this before everybody else did.
I'm fairly...
And Minnie Dar, there's a Powerball on Saturday. 5 numbers, and then give me the Powerball. Please.
Appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button, and I will likely go back to our off-season prediction show and see if Minnie Dar had that guess vocalized or stated. But hopefully the White Sox turn into a true major league organization, and hopefully David Keller knows the people to hire and to fill out that staff. And if Jerry isn't stingy, hopefully they spend the right money. But even across town, you see the success that they've had with Shota, the success that they've had with Suzuki. Mm-hmm. They were a part of Fukudome, and I think even though it wasn't his first team, they were likely over scouting Yu Darvish and talking to him. He ended up signing with the Rangers, but ultimately made his way back to Chicago, just about having boots on the ground and putting in the work to at least scout those nations. I think that the Sox, even if it's not at a professional level, because most of those people we're talking about, Shota, Suzuki, Fukudome, were professionals at that level. Yeah. Hopefully they are able to tap into the actual, youth side of most of these markets that they're seemingly lacking out on. And
it would go into their actual game plan of not wanting to spend a bunch of money for major league talent. That's how they can get that major league talent on the cheap side. And Nishida, yes, he is Japanese, but he went to Oregon State, I believe. So
he was drafted.
He's stateside guy. But yes, and that's my guy. That's my son. But you can get these players for relatively inexpensive prices instead of Jerry's least favorite thing, going to get major league free agents to come to the White Sox and pay them major league free agent money.
Yes, and hopefully that happens. All right, we did have Michael Leroy saying, must be nice to have an off day, not talking about another loss. What will surprise you is...
Talked about a lot of them.
We have talked about a lot of them. The White Sox current win-loss record is what? It's
36 and 120, I believe.
Right. No, but what's the
percentage?
Yeah, it's 23%. So, Herb, if I had you guess,
yes,
what our record is in our 88 games this year that we have done post-game shows, what would you guess our record to be?
I'm gonna go with 13 and 75.
13 and 75. Sarah, do you have a guess?
I said 79.
You had 79.
Yeah.
So you had the White Sox have at 9-79 in our post-game shows.
Yes.
I was also surprised at how many wins the White Sox had in our post-game shows.
Okay.
However, I was surprised at the win percentage. I thought the win percentage with this amount of wins would have been higher. So it just speaks to how I don't know how to do math.
Yeah.
The White Sox had 68 losses. Wow. They were 20-68, which sounds really good.
We were out here, man.
For this team. 20 wins.
Yeah.
They have 36. We've seen 20 wins.
A good majority of their wins. We're right here post-game on CHGO White Sox.
It's only 22-70. It's only a 22.7% win percentage.
It just feels like more.
We're under, right. We're under their actual win percentage of 23%. So I don't know what we're doing.
Well, they barely won on Monday, right? Like maybe won one game on Mondays, and we would do post games on every Monday. So
it's true.
And they were probably winning all those games on Fridays and Saturdays when we weren't there. Or,
I was gonna say Sundays. We had a couple Sunday wins.
Yeah, don't catch the White Sox on a Sunday or a Wednesday or a Thursday.
We'll be here covering for post games. So you're messed up, Angels, on Wednesday.
Yeah, right.
Forget about it.
But we have a game tomorrow. That would be the 69th loss, and then we'll see if they lose on Wednesday.
They will.
On Wednesday.
And will this be your third game this year in person?
Yeah, we did 2 takeovers. No,
we did 3 takeovers. So fourth game you've been.
Those are all 3 takeovers.
Okay,
so this would be my 4th game. And we will be there tomorrow, both of us. Probably at least until the 6th inning, because we have to do a show here. But if you see us out there, come say hey. All right, we've gotten through the David Keller stuff. We have gotten through the Edgar Quero stuff, and we have gone through the win percentage when we do post-game shows. I'm surprised that it was that high, that we got 20 wins, but it also is just in line with how bad they are. So I actually didn't learn anything from doing that. I just wasted a lot of time.
No, it was good. Hey,
I wasted a lot of time like going through the playlist and being like 20-68, because what we learned is they're a bad baseball team.
Very much so.
It's something new. It's everything that we've always known about this team.
I wish they were better, just slightly better. They don't have to be, 70 wins. Give me the 60. Hey, I long for the 61 wins we had last year. Goodness gracious, that's God. How the bar is gone to hell now.
I know, and we're tweeting out at CHGO_sports like the White Sox are on the worst team ever. Cubs are out of playoff contention. The Bears are 1-2. It's like one of these things are not like the other.
Calm down, CHGO Sports admin. I know Emma's over there. Don't put us in with those other teams who just had bad times, who just had a bad season. We're bad. Exclude us from those disappointments. And I had somebody, a Cub fan, say, well, the Cubs are more disappointing this year. Pause. Only one who had the White Sox this bad was Minnie Dar. The only one in the nation. I don't care if the Cubs missed the playoffs by 2, 3 games, 4 games, whatever. It's disappointing, but there's nothing that's more disappointing than being the worst team ever. Ever. And the one thing as a White Sox fan you can actually you can be happy about is nobody can say anything to you. There's nothing that you haven't said about the White Sox that another team's fan base can look at us and say, oh, but you're the worst team ever. So? Well, I've been through it, guy. I've been through the wars. You can't say anything that makes me hurt or that I haven't said about this team myself. So that's the one good thing. You have the armor of being the worst team ever, and so you can't get hurt by people's words.
Yeah, I mean,
which is great.
I like laughing at their misery because they deserve it. I do not care what other people think because I am just very excited to see them. What's it called? Rue the day, kind of. But what you reap, what you sow.
Yes.
Just I'm reaping, right? I would be the reaper.
They're reaping what they sow. The White Sox.
So I am enjoying
what they're reaping.
Yes. I get why we don't talk like that anymore.
Oh, the old-timey words?
It makes no sense.
Yeah. You reap what you sow, say? I told you.
Hey, have Copper. Your cake and eat it too. What does that mean?
Get out of here, Copper.
Let's real quick talk about the upcoming series. Los Angeles is coming for the final 3 home games of the year. Cannon versus Kachanowski. I need Jay Zawoski here to pronounce the Polish last name. Davis Martin versus Suarez, and Garrett Crochet versus Anderson on Thursday, September 26th. And that's first time we'll see Tyler Anderson. I don't think we saw him in Anaheim last time out. What do you make of this series? Mainly what I'm mostly focused on is Crochet's start on Thursday, his last start of the season. I know our guy, Grumpy Pig, says he's not elite, but it's been one hell of a journey watching Garrett Crochet this year.
Oh, yeah. I think he's going to empty the tank. Like, he knows it's his last game of the season. He knows it's his last time, maybe in a White Sox uniform, more than likely the last time in the White Sox uniform. You saw the last start he did versus the San Diego Padres on Friday. He gave it his all. He knew it's a team that is an upper echelon team, and he wanted to show the Padres himself, the White Sox, and the Major League Baseball world that he's still up there while striking out 8 players in his 4 innings of work there. I think he's going to empty the tank and give you some hundreds, a couple hundreds during that game, and he's going to be looking forward to a nice offseason. I think he's going to go his requisite 4 innings pitched and give up nothing there. So I'm looking forward to him actually giving the White Sox a chance to win one of those games in the Anaheim series. I don't look forward to the other 2 guys, even though Jonathan Cannon and Davis Martin have acquitted themselves pretty nicely in this second half of the season. But that's the only thing as White Sox fans we have to look forward to in this series in particular, because the Anaheim Angels are going no damn where with the White Sox, and I think we can give them 100 losses in the year. I believe they're close to 100 losses. So
yes, I think they've set their franchise record. Well, no, they won't. They're at 93 losses.
We can't give them.
So we could put them close, but yeah, the worst they could finish is 99.
God damn it! So you can give him 96 losses and make sure the Anaheim Angels remember this season like the White Sox fans will remember this season forever.
Yeah. Do you remember Carlos Silva? Minnesota
Pitcher?
Twin?
Yeah.
You ever think he was any great shakes?
He was fine. He was one of those mid-rotation guys.
So unless Garrett Crochet is a Carlos Silva, and to be fair, Carlos Silva struck out 71 this season and only had 9 walks. But in 2005, Carlos Silva had the 3rd best strikeout to walk ratio since 1995. But outside of that, here is the list of players 26 or younger since 1995, descending by best strikeout per base on balls. 2023, George Kirby, 9.05, which is insane to look at.
Yes.
At some of these numbers. Is George Kirby good?
He's really great.
Okay. 172 strikeouts to 19 walks for George Kirby.
Ridiculous.
2004, Ben Sheets, 8.25. Was Ben Sheets any good?
Really damn good.
All right. George Kirby again this year, 7.86. Is he good?
It's ridiculous.
All right.
The start of his career.
Clayton Kershaw in 2014, 7.71.
Hall of Famer.
26-year-old Michael Pineda in 2015, 7.43. I know that his career didn't turn out all right, but he was like a top prospect guy.
Sticky stuff.
He had the sticky stuff as well. Corbin Burns, 2021, 6.88.
Really damn good. Going to make a lot of money this offseason.
26-year-old Chris Sale, 6.52 at 2015.
Hall of Famer.
2019, 24-year-old Shane Bieber, 6.48.
Really good at that time.
6.38, 2003, 26-year-old Roy Halladay.
Oh, damn. Hall of Famer. Rest in peace.
And then 6.34, 2024, 25-year-old Garrett Crochet with a 6.3 strikeout to walk ratio.
That is quality company. you hear
want
all
me to
those damn names?
Do you want me to keep going?
Yes.
Do you want me to finish out the 20th name is probably the one that will deflate this a little bit. 12th, Logan Webb, 2023, 6.62.
Okay. Yes.
Matt Harvey, 6.16, 2013.
Awesome.
6 from Madison Bumgarner in 2015.
Hall of Famer, probably.
Roy Oswalt, 2001, 23-year-old.
Possible
6.
Hall of Famer.
Walker Buehler, 5.81 in 2019, 24-year-old.
Really damn good.
2007, 26-year-old CC Sabathia with a 5.65.
Hall of Famer.
Ben Sheets again, 2005, 26-year-old, 5.64. And then Strasburg, 5.63, 2014, 25 years old. The only other one, Braxton Garrett, 5.38 in 2023. He is the least proven, but still,
those names.
He's been injured, but he's been okay, Garrett. So I mean, maybe Garrett Crochet can be like Braxton Garrett, but he's more in the upper echelon
All the rest
than
of those
anyone
people.
else.
Yeah, like those names ring out, and Garrett Crochet's name rings out too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's some of the best company you can keep.
And he's just going to add on to it. So I'm very impressed at what he's done, and I know that we were really surprised that he was a starter, and they were convinced by that. And when he said, "Oh, I'm not worried about an innings limit," I was like, "Yeah, buddy, we'll see." He shut my ass up. He's about to throw 148 innings, maybe even 149, and he's just going to be one of the best. He's going to post one of the best White Sox pitching seasons of all time.
Same with me. I was right there with you, Sean. When the White Sox started this, I was like, this is an experiment. I was, as I said before, I had looked at it with the jaundiced side. The White Sox are not only starting this guy, but starting on opening day, so he's going to get all these innings. But for their credit and his, this thing has worked out sparkling. And I wish cooler heads would prevail, smarter minds would come through, and the White Sox will find a way to keep this elite talent. But it's the White Sox.
Fingers crossed. And let me take out all the Ed Walsh stuff and give you guys an actual idea of where Garrett Crochet ranks, and then we'll wrap up the show. Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. But since 1920, Garrett Crochet has posted the 16th most strikeouts in White Sox history. If he gets 4, he will pass Esteban Loaiza's 2003 season and tie Chris Sale's 2014 of 208 strikeouts. And just to put in perspective, Chris Sale that year threw 174 innings. Crochet's at 142.
Esteban
It's just absurd.
Esteban Loaiza, yes, he's in jail now for other things. 2003 season, phenomenal. Yeah. All-star.
Started the All-Star game?
Yeah. So, yeah. And much as you said, like 30 fewer innings than Chris Sale that year. And I'm sure Esteban threw close to 200 innings that year. So he's going 50 fewer innings than what Esteban Loaiza did.
The biggest question about him is just how long can he go? And even then, he's giving you at least 4 to 5 elite innings. So
I hope
someone's going to trade for him.
Garrett Crochet doesn't traffic drugs later in his life.
You know, Herb, I hope
Allegedly.
that too. I hope that too. I don't think it's allegedly at this point. I believe Esteban Loaiza is serving time.
I don't want Esteban to visit the studios of the West Loop.
No, you don't.
Come and get me.
If he's dealing with that, I mean, I definitely don't think.
I actually lived down in the area that Esteban actually got arrested in San Diego.
1 month ago, apparently Esteban Loaiza posted to Instagram, so I'm thrilled to see.
Oh no, Esteban,
what happens
he's
with
loose.
That.
Don't come and get me, Esteban, man. I'm good.
Let's see. He was released from prison in 2021 and deported to Mexico.
All right, cool.
You never know though.
Okay.
I don't know. It seems like he's at a baseball park in this Instagram post, so maybe Loaiza's coming back. Should we have him on the show?
No.
Better than him finding you. Let's go find him.
Yeah, exactly. We got him in our own confines. We could talk about 2003 Esteban Loaiza. And Esteban brought us Jose Contreras.
That's true. That's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox podcast. That's Herb Lawrence, our CHGO White Sox community leader. Thank you to everyone for watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Thank you to Sarah for producing the show. I'm Sean Anderson. Follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Thank you to everyone. We will talk to you tomorrow after the game. We will see if the White Sox can create history and lose the 121st game of the season.
We all silly like the